Okay, I thought I'd just give a quick review on this since I couldn't find a Powerhouse 3100 with a propane conversion on it. Motor Snorkel or US Carb makes the conversion for this, and most of their conversions are pretty easy because they are put on open frame generators, and this one is just really tight in there, so you have to take the whole front end off, unconnect some wires, take like a heat sink down in there. That's the venting for it. I don't know if it's a heat sink, part of the inverter portion I guess off. Just taking wires off, and then there's somewhere right in this corner is a EPA can or something for the fumes of the gas tank. And then you fit that Motor Snorkel in there between the carburetor and the air box, and cinch it down. Put your fittings on. I put hose clamps on there also. Get the regulator on there. That's where I drilled through the outer metal, and then behind that is part of the frame, and I drilled into that frame just to stabilize the bolt. And then don't go, and the bolts won't even go that deep, but don't drill through the other side of that frame, remember, otherwise you risk getting into the fuel tank, and then it'll be permanently propane powered. But this is Tri-Fuel now that I've put this Motor Snorkel on there. However, going back to gas, which I don't see why I would now because it burns so clean and very efficiently. Well, clean, efficient, and smoothly compared to the gas. But the little nozzle on the Motor Snorkel will not allow the automatic choke to close. So if I really needed to get this going on gas, what I would do is warm it up on propane, shut it off, and then switch over, turn the fuel valve on to let the gas in, the yellow one over there, and then it would start. But as starting it on gas right now with the Motor Snorkel in there is kind of not going to happen. And they even mentioned that in the videos, that the automatic chokes are just not strong enough to close down on that snorkel that goes down the carburetor throat. But as for propane, it runs beautiful. I'll never probably put it on natural gas, but it's going to be a permanent addition to an off-grid cabin. So I'm going to pipe it into my big propane tank up there and be able to run it, just off of that and not worry about it. It won't remote start. For one thing, you're supposed to shut it off from the propane tank, so either way you got to go out there and turn propane onto it and then start it. So I lost the remote start option, but it does run still on the economy beautifully. It idles nice and smooth on it, and runs right up. I've run it so far under half of a load, which is 1500 watt heater, and there is no inclination that it won't run the heavier loads I do put on it, because I run a well pump on it, which really, it puts a load on it, but it does it on gas. I haven't performed that test on the propane version yet, so I don't see why it won't, because it's going to be running better through propane than it would on gas. Right now it's running at 6,200 feet above sea levels, and it runs just fine, and I don't see any problems with it running where I'm going to take it. So as for the Powerhouse 3100, it runs good if you don't run methanol in it. These things hate, as well as many other engine powered things, they hate the ethanol. And if the ethanol sits in there, forget it. You're going to have a cantankerous thing. You're always going to be turning wrenches on. I had to give it like 6 months of therapy on seafoam and premium unleaded gas that had no methanol in it in order to get it back running nice again. And I got it running just perfect on fuel again, and then got this conversion because of the cabin. Easy. I think it was a pretty easy install. It obviously wasn't designed for this, because I had to drill holes in that, and I'm never going to put that cover on it again, but I don't know if I really want the cover on it with the potential propane leak, or I guess it could be a gas leak, it doesn't really matter. But anyway, the exhaust on it is, there's no odor to it. It just runs really nice. And propane doesn't go bad. It can be difficult to get sometimes, but like I said, I'm going to be running it off a 500 gallon tank, so I'll give it a quick start, and then we'll conclude this. Oh, and there is a on the back side of the regulator here, there is a purge valve, priming valve. It's just a little button you push in, and you can tell it between being starved and then when you flood it. But the flooding on propane is real easy. It just cranks over and flushes it out real quick, and then you're good to go. So I'll do a quick start on that real quick. Get the camera lined up. Propane on first, that helps. There we go. So now we got it. That's even better demonstration. I don't know if you'll be able to hear this purge, the air come out. And the air makes a different sound than the propane going in. So you know it's got the air out of it. There it is. I'm still learning myself a really good technique to get it started quicker, but it's never taken longer than that. I just got to learn when I need to push the button and when I shouldn't, and then somewhere in the middle it just starts on its own. That's a US carb, what they call the Motor Snorkel, so it's just a little, basically a gasket that lets the propane get in there and run down the throat of the carburetor. Alright, I think that's about all I got.